And we are back on the Yeah Coach podcast, where we encourage you to take action in life through the testimonies of others. And I have my good friend here with me today telling her story. She went to Morehead State and got her bachelor's degree in communications, her master's in sports marketing, and she's been in sports marketing professional for over 20 years now. I want to welcome to the podcast the Coach Sara. How are we doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing well. One thing I want to say thank you for giving your time to tell your story, and just hoping we can make an impact on someone that's listening out there right now.
And no doubt. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I have one question. You probably know what's coming up.
I've heard of this coming.
So, Sara, what'd you eat for breakfast this morning?
So, I've been doing my research on this, and I don't normally eat breakfast. I know that's bad, but I have this week. I know it's bad. It really is, but I had egg whites, and when I do cook breakfast, I do normally have egg whites and then one piece of toast cut in half. That's it, man. And my big meal is primarily right after I work out. So when I go to a noon class, then I'll eat the biggest meal of the day.
What do you do with the other half of toast? You just cut it in half?
I just, instead of having two pieces of toast, I have one. Okay. I cut it in half and make a little egg sandwich,
I didn't get that at first. I was like, half a piece, throws the other part away.
Just trying to cut some curbs and carbs.
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, so that's what I had for breakfast today. And coffee. Always, I do drink a lot of coffee.
Black, cream or sugar?
Black, yeah.
That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I don't drink coffee.
Oh,
but there are a lot of health benefits to black coffee.
Really?
What makes it bad is the creamer and sugar.
Oh,
yes. So.
You would, a lot of people do see me because I do work remote. I will go to Panera a lot. I'm on that SIP club, so hopefully you'll get them as a sponsor one day, maybe. But I do. I can drink coffee till afternoon.
Really?
Not constantly, but I do have a couple cups in the morning, and then I might have one on the way home to wake up. So, but yeah, it's always black.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood. Okay, so we're going to open the door a little bit more about you. You have over 20 years in sports marketing professionalism. How did you get into that lane, whether that be in college or just a little bit more about you, how you got into it?
Yeah, so, sports, it's just something that has always been a part of my life. Growing up, I have three older brothers. Our father was always our coach. So I played and followed them, and I wanted to be like them. So when I was in high school, I was playing all three sports. I played volleyball, basketball, and softball. And then I had my first knee injury. Count them out. That's 1, 2, 3. I had my first knee injury, and, I'm only 25, so that wasn't, no. But, back then, when you had a knee injury like that, it was tough to, go through the rehab steps, right? And so I had to decide on what that sport, what was I really going to focus on? If I wanted to go play at the collegiate level, what was going to be my sport? And so, baseball and softball were big parts of our family. And my brothers, I had two older brothers go on to play baseball in college at Morehead State also. Wow. And so then my junior year, once I went through this knee injury and rehab, I just decided I'm going to go all softball, right? And so then my senior year, I only played softball and had an opportunity to go play Division I softball at Morehead State, follow the footsteps of two of my brothers. And, while I was at school, we'll get into this a little later, but I battled more injuries. I had 2 more knee surgeries while at Morehead State, so that was 3. And then I had one later on in life. But, I graduated with communications and public relations. During that time, one of my older brothers had a company that worked in high school sports, and we traveled all around the greater Cincinnati area, putting on Friday night game nights and, a lot of engagement with sponsors and activation with fans. And I just found this interest, I could do this all day, be at these different facilities and interact with, fans and athletes. And, as my senior year came to an end, I was like, I don't really want to leave college. What am I going to do next, right? So I was like, I'll just go to grad school, And so I went into grad school with sport management, with my brother continued to grow his company. He stepped away from high school athletics, and then he went into youth sports. And so as I was in grad school, I was watching him grow his company. And, that's how we really bonded. And I wasn't ready for athletics to leave my life, even though I played 4 years of college softball, And so sport management in grad school was the right direction for me to go. After that, I figured out that college athletics was what I wanted to do. And so I went into college athletic administration, focusing on all marketing, corporate sponsorships. I've worked at 2 different universities. I've also worked in, I've taken different turns, though, in my career, but I think that's what life's all about, right? You take twists and turns and different chapters. And so but I always found myself coming back to sports, working in sports. And now I'm very thankful for this opportunity to, work in Lexington and be able to represent the Kentucky High School Athletic Association with all their corporate sponsorships. So every day I'm meeting business people, folks, companies all across the state, even across the U.S. that want to bring their business and interact at our state championships and support student athletes. And so, that's my biggest part is building partnerships. If it's career, life, family, friends, that's what we're really, if we can, it's really what your message is. You want to lift others, inspire them, and no matter what that actual field is. So that's my lane. And that's where I'm at right now. There's way more. We can talk all different types of subchapters, but we'll get this rolling for you.
Wow. So going from communications and sports, what made you choose communications when you went into college?
Well, really, I had an emphasis on advertising and public relations.
Okay.
So I felt like when I was younger, I've been very blessed. My mom is probably one of the most creative people I know. My mother and, well, actually, everybody in my family, we, all of us just brainstorm, think of ideas. And so I thought, well, maybe advertising is where I want to be at. And so that's why I chose communications with an emphasis of advertising and PR in it. And then when I came up to my senior year of undergrad, I was like, what am I going to do next? And so then I thought, well, I could take what I just, got my bachelor's in, add the sport, management part to it, and then, find a way right there in marketing. So, one thing that I do on the side is currently just really bringing awareness to females, the opportunities there are available to work in sports. And so I have a little side hustle that I work on with one of my dear friends, and her name is also Sara, and it's called Women Wins, Women Working in Sports, and with Sara and Sara. And so, we talk about different conversations about why, women, what field could you work at? There's more positions than just a coach, which is a great impact on an individual and a team. But there's trainers, there's sports marketing people, there's folks that are raising money for athletic departments. There's compliance. There's all different types of jobs in sports. So we just really, our passion is to make sure that young ladies understand that this is a career that they could have a place in. So. But yeah, that was a big part of me always staying in sports, is because I was the underdog, right? And even today, I represent the KHSA, but I work for an outside company that is partnered with them. And the company that I work for, I'm one of 3 general managers across the state, U.S. And so we represent 24 states, and there's only 3 of us ladies. So I'm just trying to get more women involved.
Understood.
Yeah.
Wow. So to open the door, or at least open the blinds to the door, that there's opportunity for women in that field. Yeah, I think a lot of women don't look at it like that. They look at it like, I want to play a sport, not get a job in sports. Or they'll go for a PT position.
Yep.
Or they want to not actually, but they're wanting to I think it's more about being more hands-on as opposed to advertisement and background. Like, what does it actually take to help the business run?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think in all areas of life, right? People just sometimes look at the outside. Kind of really like fitness, you know? You could go to a gym, or do you go to a studio, or what type of workout do you do? You know, and it's up to that individual to explore and see, what's out there. And so more advocates like yourself, and, spreading the awareness about fitness. And then, what I try to do is just teach people, like, come on, there's more than just being, the athletic trainer or the coach, Come do an internship with me. You'll have fun. So anyways, we all need to talk about all that. But, yeah, it's just something that I have a lot of passion for. Yeah.
With that, a thought sparked in my head. You sparked the idea of an internship. But just because I actually recently have a bunch of people popping up that either changed their major to marketing, or that are deciding to go into college with the degree of marketing. What would you recommend to someone getting into the marketing field do to get their feet wet?
I love that when somebody asks me that question. And the first thing I always tell them is get as much hands-on experience as possible. And I think individuals, when they think, oh, I'll do this internship, but I just can't, I can't give them 40 hours a week. And so that scares them. Or it's not paid, but I have to work and I have to have another job. I get that. So they just don't, they don't look at the other part of the opportunity. Well, maybe if you just present to yourself, work, get your feet wet, tell them that you only can work 10 hours a week. I would be happy if somebody just said, hey, I would love to do an internship with you, but I can only do 10 to 15 hours a week. I'd be like, all right, I got you. Let's figure it out. So never be scared about that. I think some people are like, I got all these things I got to balance, and I got to make money, but this internship doesn't pay. I'm telling you, it's the value of doing that internship is probably going to be even greater than you can imagine because of all the network and the people that you're going to meet, with those different opportunities. I think in marketing, like we mentioned, there's so many different angles of it, right? And so to get that, get that first-hand experience, if it's events, right? I think some people say, oh, I want to be an event planner, right? Because there's a marketing piece of that. That's a big marketing, type of position. But then they realize you got to be there 5 hours beforehand. And I got to carry 100 pounds of boxes, and I got to do all this labor. And then some people are like, oh, that's not really me, right? But I've had young adults work for me in many different positions that I've had. And, being able, I love to see when their eyes open wide when they see me pulling weeds at an athletic facility, right? They're like, oh, that's not marketing. I'm like, well, yeah, actually it is, because this facility, I'm about to have thousands of fans show up, and I don't want my canvas or my front yard to look like that, right? And there's weeds all over it. So it's just something when you find your passion and what you believe in, you have that pride in it. But then to be an intern, you need to experience that at earlier, right? Than waiting till your senior year. Because then when you find out, oh gosh, I don't like it. Or it could be great from the beginning. And then you've built this relationship with this professional or this person that's seasoned, and has all these different people that could help you get a job, right? And so it's just, I think it's very important. Internships and getting that,
hands-on experience.
Hands-on experience is huge. It's huge, and as I've grown in my career, I just helped a young lady that was my student assistant at Morehead State, who followed me to help me at certain events here in Lexington, state championships, right? And so she's followed me here. She loves that school south of Lexington that's orange, right? And so she wants to work there and do her full-time internship her senior year there. Well, we're at a championship at UK. there is a professional that actually worked at UT. And so I'm telling, my intern or my worker, let's talk to her. She ends up getting the internship. But you never know who you're going to meet too. And that's another word of advice for a young adult. You never know who you're going to meet. If you're going to go out to a restaurant or somewhere with your girlfriends or guy friends, just make sure you're aware of the whole, who's around you, right? And you might impress somebody, but I think that follows also kind of what you talk about all the time is leadership and how are you a leader. And so those are just, things. I mean, I learned those things, but maybe I should have, maybe I should have been able to do that at a younger age, but those are just my, my words of advice.
Wow. So as we've talked, as you've explained it, more questions pop up, but
That's
something that pops up that I really want to talk about is two bigger things. So we'll focus on the first one first. What was one of Sara's biggest fears going into this field, and how did you combat it? If you even had any.
Well, I think if you don't have fear, then you're not living, right? I mean, we each go at life in a different path, and if you're not scared, then you're just comfortable, right? And so I took a big leap. My first job, my first big girl job, I moved to Johnson City, Tennessee, and I worked at East Tennessee State University. And I left, I was only 2 hours away from home when I went to school. My family's all in Northern Kentucky, Florence, and so when I left Moorhead to go to Johnson City, that was 6 hours away from home. And I know it doesn't, people do it all the time now, and I'm so proud of them to take those leaps. And like to hear that Julie moved 17 times in 7 years or whatever, like that's crazy, but that's so awesome, to be able to live life like that. But I took that jump, and there was fear of moving and not knowing one person. I didn't have any teammates with me. I didn't have my family down the street. I wasn't following the footsteps of my brothers because, remember, 2 of them played at Moorhead before I went. So all throughout life, people already knew who Hacker was because my brothers, and then I go to Moorhead State, and there's still people that knew me as Hacker's little sister or whatever. So that was big fear. But I guess my advice to that is take that leap. It might create some anxiety in your tummy area, but it's going to be so rewarding once you do it, And I think the other, fear that I might have had, but I'm kind of over that now, was being the only one like me, right? Being the only female in the room, being in business meetings, and I am presenting an opportunity for a lot of money, right? But I'm talking to somebody that doesn't look like me on the other side, and I'm already, but are you ready for the segue though?
That's it.
No, it goes right into fitness though. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for that. The confidence that I've been able to build to get over that fear of being the only female, right? So does that make sense?
Repeat it again.
So the fear of being one of the only females working in the areas that I do, let's just say.
Right.
I mean, there's women doing what I'm doing all over,
right,
but not a lot of us. And so there's times where I'm in business meetings, and it's a little intimidating because you're proposing a lot of money to create a sponsorship for somebody. But what has helped me is the confidence that I've gained by being so dedicated to fitness, right? And to see that strength come out in a business meeting, So then I'm not worried about being that lady across the table. I'm a boss.
Yeah, okay, Rick Ross.
I get it. But no, I think it's just important. But yeah, I mean, fear is, I mean, I think it's good to have fear at times.
Mm-hmm. You think it pushes you?
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. I think, there's different things, and goals obviously are important. In my line of work, I have a lot of number goals I got to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that motivates me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it can create anxiety too. But fitness helps with that too.
Right. It's funny how everything is connected and kind of falls together. Wow. Okay, that's going to bring me back to the other question then.
Okay.
You mentioned when you explained how you got into your communications degree. As what does it mean to be a leader? What do you view as leadership characteristics within a person?
So I'm a huge fan of just leadership, education, self-awareness, everything like that. My mom, she always jokes with me. She's like, I feel like those are the only type of books you read, or motivational books.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we've all had triumphs and things that have happened to us and in our past. And what motivates me to read those things and be inspired by those things is because it just, it opens a whole new vision, right? And how you've overcame those things. So now let's be a leader. Let's inspire, educate people. I'm a huge advocate of finding your why. And I went through, this is crazy though. I did not find my why. I left sports and I was working in a whole different field, and I was frustrated, and I did a lot of self-help, right? Trying to figure out, because when you get out of college athletics, it's kind of like leaving a government job. It's really hard to get back in it, right? Mm-hmm. And because I was in it for 12 years and then I left and went a different route. But anyways, I was trying to figure out what my why was, what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses. I feel like everybody needs to reevaluate that every 5-6 years too, because you change, you get stronger, But I found out my why was my energy. And if I'm going to be a leader, my energy has to be that number one thing that drives anybody that I can be around, right? And so my last position before I came to Lexington, I was at Morehead State. I was at my alma mater, and I was an assistant athletic director there, and I had a awesome core of young adults that worked with me. And so every day I worked and I was dedicated to inspiring them through my energy, even if I would have had a bad night or a bad morning. But I'm gonna show up. What's your line? Show up and show out, or
showed up and showed out. Yep.
Showed out, and then and then your other one. It's not about how you start; it's about how you finish. But like I would bring that, and that's why I connect so well. Like I seriously wish I had a video of you greeting me the other day when I showed up, because that's how I greeted my interns. Mm-hmm. I brought my energy to them, and because you never know what people are going through. Right, and to be able, one, that they made it to work or they made it to their internship. At least they're showing up, right? Mm-hmm. And then I'm able to, lighten the mood, get them excited, make it fun for them, but get business done. And that was always my mission. And the same way now, like I have young adults come work these big championships with me now, and and I make it fun, but they know I mean business. Mm-hmm. But I don't stop. It's like I keep that energy flowing and flowing and flowing. So
it's contagious.
Oh,
it
mine?
Really energy in general, like whether it's negative or toxic, like it is contagious. Yep. And the more you're able to give, the more you're able to receive. In my opinion, you can't be able to receive anything, especially the fruits of your labor without being able to give to grow that fruit. And what you speak about reminds me of one of my favorite teachings of one of my mentors. He said, where does passion come from? Mm-hmm. And he explained it in a way that passion is not an input. passion is an output. You don't do what you're passionate about. You do what you enjoy, and what you will experience is passion. People can go and do things same way with stress. Stress is not an input, stress is an output. You go to job and you'll experience what you do at your job, and what you'll feel at the end of the day is stress. But if it is something you feel passionate about, what you will experience is passion.
Yeah.
And you can see that you want the input, your input for why you do what you do gives you passion afterwards, because you see the fruits of your interns and the effect that it has on them and the people around you. So,
Yeah.
how you feeling?
No, I feel great. I do feel great. No, and I mean, it's just any type of conversation like this always just moves me, right? Because you know, I probably got 20 some years on you, but it's a really cool opportunity where people can feel free, have conversation, and then even I'm sitting here thinking about all these other things that, you know, who have mentored me, right, and who've made me who I am, and how I want to continue to do that, you know, to other people. You know, what I love the most is so funny is like I don't even know some folks sometimes, and then after class I'd be like, I'm so sorry, did I, you know, because that's my outlet, right? That's my release if, you know, if I had a tough meeting or something, but I want to, you know, I need that positive energy back in me. And so I just get a little hype, and some people are just like, I love your energy. And I'm thinking, well, gosh, it's so funny. I don't even mean to really have it when I'm
It's just you
out of work. You know what I mean? Like, I want to have the energy in my profession, but yeah, it's just kind of follows me everywhere.
I think it's just a part of Sarah. I literally find it the same way.
Yeah.
Because you are so into and so passionate about the things that you do that it literally shows in your character and how you carry yourself and how you interact with others. Like, it literally shows. And that the what am I trying to say? What the people you're talking to, their response to your energy, throws up a red flag for me, because if they love your energy, that in a way shows something that they want in their lives as well.
Yeah.
So,
that's cool.
and like, that's something that you're able to provide. You know, the people that say, I love your energy, feed that into them. Keep giving it to them, because they will feed off of that, and they will become similar to you. And I think that's one of the best things, is when you can encourage someone to encourage someone to take action in something that encourages and inspires them. So that's...
Yeah, one of the classmates today, she was like, you motivated me. I was like, what? She's like, I was like, well, you were about 2 speeds ahead of me, but I'm glad I motivated you.
That's why I feel like, especially in fitness, accountability partners are so important. Knowing that you're not alone in something, or that someone, even the competition aspect of it, that someone might beat you, makes you want to take that bump it up by 0.1 or 0.3.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. But no, I get what you're saying. I've had an off week. I've gone hard, but I'm happy. Like, that makes me happy to go hard, though. It's just my legs are shot right now, but I'm here.
Okay. Ooh, that brings me to another question.
Hey.
What would you say is one of your favorite parts about Orange Theory Fitness?
My favorite parts.
Favorite aspect of it?
Well, I mean, I do think the relationship with the coaches is very important. I mean, I think why I love going to Orange Theory is because it does remind me of my younger years of playing sports, right? Having a coach, having a motivator, having somebody push you, you know, having somebody that's going to interact with you, let you know when you're doing something wrong, right? Hold you accountable, you know, you putting that investment in. I mean, there's all kinds of things and reasons why I've enjoyed it. And I'm right over probably 13 months of being a member. I can tell a huge difference from when I started last August. So that's a big part of it. The friends that I've met, just this, it's just overall, I've really enjoyed it. And another thing, Neff, with my knee injuries, I probably didn't run besides running. I don't know, but I have not ran a mile probably since my senior year in college until I joined. I mean, seriously, my knees were so shot. But I started my fitness path, or what would you call that? Journey started when I was in Johnson City. I had some things happen to me. I had friends, family, close members. Situations have happened to them health-wise, and I was like, forget it. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna find this fitness journey. Not be a former student athlete, right? When you're a former student athlete, you're like, I played all these years. With 28 years of athletics I played. But now this is totally different. I told my dad the other day, I feel like I'm way stronger now than I was when I was playing college ball, right? Because the world's changed. I mean, I was a college athlete 2000 to 2004. Well, you weren't even born yet. But anyways, some of my classmates, I checked them on music, right? And I'm like, were you born when the song came out? Some of the people that go to the classes with me, they're like, I don't know the song. I'm like, really? But anyways, so the rehab and just the conditioning was way different. The science has gotten so much better. And so, when I was in Tennessee, I joined a studio down there, did group fitness. Then I met somebody that she means so much to me, because she's probably my biggest advocate of how I've gotten so passionate about HIIT and that type of training. But I started taking small group classes, pretty much personal training, out of her house. She converted her garage into an awesome fitness facility. So I was going to her, but then I was also going to another gym too, so I was doing it every day, at least 5 days a week. And then I moved to Kentucky, and I was in an area where they didn't have any studios, because I was in Moorhead, Kentucky, and I was working out at a university rec center. I was doing my own type of workouts just from what I learned from the past, and then COVID hit, right? And then about 6 months later, I moved to Lexington, and somebody had told me for years, you should go try Orange Theory. And I was like, I just don't like, running. And now I'm running. I'm running 2 miles a class. It's crazy. But yeah, it's just, it is. I think I've always tried to get people that don't have a regular fitness, routine, to just understand and just try it, because it does so much more for you than, weight loss is always a goal, right? But I think folks get frustrated because it doesn't come off quick. And, people talk about that all the time. But the highs that you receive from working out and just, it's their motto, right? Is the more life, but no, at the, after you take the class, it's like the best feeling I've had all day is after I take a class. And it really is. But then it's like the accomplishment that you've been able to, succeed. Like, you finished that. You're not, knock on wood. You're not walking out, passed out. Like, you are moving, and everybody's laughing, and it's wild. It's really crazy. But, I think it works for anybody. It doesn't have to just, be that person that runs. There's all different types of, what do you call that?
HIIT?
Alteration. No, not alterations.
Intervals?
No.
Alterations and
you can walk instead of run.
Options.
Options. Yes, yeah.
Alternatives.
That's it. So yeah, I always recommend folks to go to it. So.
Man, this has been a very enlightening conversation. I really want to say thank you. I wish I would have taken a little more time for pauses. I just know I want to ask as many questions as I can to get to know you a little more. But I can't wait to re-listen to this again. I have one more question.
Did I talk too much?
No, you were fine. You were absolutely fine. You're talking perfect. I want to know, many other things,
Okay.
but one thing on the top of my head right now is, what would you say has been one of the most inspiring or encouraging people or moments in your life that helps you create who you are today? Take a minute
And
to
just
think about
in
it. If you
life.
need. In life that helps you create Sara Hacker. Influences. Doesn't have to be, oh, I wanted to be just like them, but like, what would you say? It would be experience or people?
Oh, that's like, can I do both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Often it is both.
What?
Said often it is both.
Yes, yeah. You know, I have been very blessed. I've had a lot of mentors. I've had a lot of great people I've met that have helped me professionally. I've had a great support system. You know, my brother, who has worked in sport, has been a huge mentor of mine. But I would, you know, honestly, my dad is, and you know, it's not like it's hidden. Like everybody always jokes that I'm daddy's girl, but you know, my dad's the hardest working man I've ever met, and I think that, you know, he really brought that work ethic into our family. And you know, my brothers, are all three of them, work so hard to raise their families. I continue to follow in that footstep of working hard, striving hard. He did everything he could do to take care of us and still let us play sports, right? We were traveling all over, and he, you know, I'm, you know, very grateful for my mother. Don't, you know, because I got all my creativity from my mom, and I got my work ethic really from my father. But then, you know, the experiences, I'm so happy that my career path has taken many. I've had a lot of opportunities for different chapters in it, and I'm very thankful for that, because you know, it's made me who I am today. You know, I'm being able to move and live in another state, meet friends from other states. You know, I had a lot of friends that were not from Tennessee or Kentucky. You know, I had a friend that was from New York and Puerto Rico and Boston, and I had people that, you know, just culture was important to me, you know, to, you know, create, you know, just to learn through their experiences and be open to trying new things and food. And so I think, you know, both of those, I feel like there's so much life to live, and people need to just take that leap and do it, you know. It's really rewarding once you get over the fear of trying something new, feeling uncomfortable, right? And then it's just like, wow, I did that. Like, so I guess that answers it, right?
Yeah. For me, overview, you got who creates Sara.
Yeah.
And it's a combination of your experiences
Yeah.
and your examples from your mom and your dad.
Yeah.
Primarily like that work ethic from your dad, your creativity from your mom, and to go after what you want, despite what life may throw at you, despite the challenges that it's going to have ups and downs, but you're there to combat every single one of them.
Yeah. You know, working in sports has really helped me with that too, because I'm always up against a time limit. When it comes to a game day experience, the clock starts, you know, 2-3 hours before the actual tip off, right? If you have tailgating or if you have a pregame event, like, and then when it comes to actual in-game experience, and I do a lot of that type of stuff, I'm always up against the clock. And I think that really has motivated me too when it comes to these experiences, you know, because I feel I can handle it. I think, and that helps with fitness too. Like, it helps with your confidence and understanding that no matter what the situation is, just relax. You're gonna get through it, and you have to have that confidence in you. But there's a lot of different aspects that can help build that up. Is be around the right people, you know, having a supportive family, living up experiences, you know, and you know, number one, believing in yourself. Believing why he brought you here, right? So
100%. Wow. This.
put smiles on faces, Nev.
Yes, man. I can't wait to have you back on. If you'll come back on,
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear more about it. These are just one-time things. There's no way I can capture even just a smidget of who Sara Hacker is in this, or I'm sorry, in who Coach Sara is
Okay.
in this 30, 45-minute podcast interview. Like, I know this is going to encourage someone to take that action, especially in that marketing direction.
Yep. That's all it's about right there. So I'm very happy. This has been awesome. We'll have a Sarah and Neff show, or Neff and Sarah show. Yeah, Coach. We got
Yeah,
it.
Coach. I like it. I like it.
Or a halftime. Oh, this is our halftime. Ooh. Like, we'll have a second half.
And maybe if we do multiple episodes, it's quarters. Broken up into eight. See, look at that. Hey.
Nice.
But that's going to conclude that podcast interview for today. But you all know how we have to end it. We have to end it with that "yeah, Coach" at the end. You say it. It's kind of like saying a "hell yeah" at the end. You get hype. You say it loud, and you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna back away from the mics just a little bit because we don't want to burst that mic here. We want to be able to capture it. But we'll do it on the count of three. You ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, Coach! And that's going to conclude it for today. Thank you all so much for listening. I'll see y'all next time. That's Coach Neff and Coach Sara. We out.
Peace.